New computer technologies for acquiring knowledge, including knowledge about language, open attractive prospects for solving practical and theoretical linguistic problems. Any linguistic research begins with the selection of material and the arrangement of the file. A qualitative and quantitative parameters of the collected material largely determine the nature of scientific work. The Internet and its quantitative data, which accompany the results of researches for individual words and phrases, testify to a fairly objective picture of the function of the language, since in these data and the quantitative coefficients of each word, a sample of source material for multifaceted generalizations is revealed that deserves attention. A standard operation of searching for a text or a single word in the hands of a philologist can become a useful tool for lexicographic research, which will most likely end up with a lexicographic product, a dictionary article. As the object of discussion of the raised problems, we choose Neosemantics associated with the further spectralization of certain concepts in the Ukrainian language. The appearance of new meanings in the semantic structure of a word is one of the powerful mechanisms of replenishing its lexicon in the Ukrainian language today. In general, active semantic changes are simulated by the need of the Ukrainian language to acquire new fields to hitherto unknown concepts. Let's pay attention to the semantic potential of adjectives and nouns. One of the indicators that the language is in the field of emotional attention of its speakers are new nuances in the meanings of adjectives that concentrate relevant socially significant thoughts. The semantic potential of the words naphthalene or Teflon is indicative. The Cherkasy Corpus provided the following statistics. Naphthalene found 796 documents. According to the Dictionary of the Ukrainian Language in 11 volumes, naphthalene is a white crystalline substance with a pungent odor used to combat color mice, willies, etc., to protect woolen products and fur from moths, as well as in technology and medicine. And naphthalene is an adjective for naphthalene. In sources from 1929 to the end of the 20th century, we trace the use of the word in its literal sense. However, from the beginning of the 21st century, context realizes the figurative use and meaning of which has gone into the past is irrelevant. Naphthalene founds 264 documents. We record only a few sentences where the adjective naphthalene has a direct meaning. All other contexts of use have a negative emotional and evaluative shade of the meaning irrelevant, which has gone to the past. Manipulation found 26,910 documents. The noun acquired a new special meaning in political discourse. Ordinary native speakers may not guess the origin of this word. It comes from the Latin manipulus, handful, which comes from manus, hand, and pleo, feel, and has the direct meaning complicated action on something, and figuratively, mechanicians, since manipulation is not a physical influence on a person, its object is psychological structures, when the new metaphorical meaning is programming the thoughts and aspirations of the masses, their moods, and even mental state to ensure the behavior that is needed by those who possess the meaning of manipulation. It is the art of controlling people's behavior by purposely influencing their consequences and instincts. The lexeme manipulation expands the scope of use by increasing the volume of semantics, which is characterized by a higher degree of generalization, for example, manipulations in topics, manipulations of facts, manipulations of the authorities with elections, pressure, and manipulations, negotiations, and manipulations. Changes in denotative component of the meaning of the lexeme manipulation consist in the loss of several differential themes and the appearance of the social, political, and psychological themes. Oksana Zabushka aptly defines the result of the development of a new meaning of this lexeme. The manipulator presses the buttons not of our strengths, but of our weakness. He takes advantage of our signs. I hate people who exploit weakness. They know what they're doing, but those who are manipulated refuse rationality. They are driven by subconscious impulses. This is what is called the crisis of rationalism, which exists in our time. Syndrome founds 15,929 documents. In such a generalized deterministic meaning, the verb to articulate becomes a synonym of the verbs to express, to reveal, to define, to outline, to formulate, to form, to demonstrate, with the qualifiers exactly, expressively, clearly, and therefore expands its lexical and syntactic capability. Variants of using the corpus of text for research purposes will be illustrated on the example of Neosemantism, a syndrome fixed with the meaning complex of symptoms characteristic of a certain disease. Syndrome, acquired immediately syndrome. Today, this word began to be used more often in the language of politics with the meaning complex of features distinctive for a certain phenomenon object. Similar syndromes distinguish phenomena undesirable for speakers of the Ukrainian language, which they assess as a threat to the peaceful, stable life. To articulate, found 1,114 documents. The verb to articulate is recorded in standard dictionaries only in the sense of pronounced speech sounds. However, the context of the use in the corpus testifies that it is capable for expressing a new figurative meaning to clearly define, outline something, express one's attitude towards something. In this sense, there are reasons to consider it a hidden borrowing from modern Western European languages, for example, English articulate, in the sense of express clearly, explain, formulate. In words article and the Polish and Old Ukrainian article have a common etymology with articulate. Latin articulus, member section. So you can logically explain, formulate, emphasize, clearly outline anything, for example, position, interest, nation, as evidenced by the information from the Greek corpus. The constraints make it possible to analyze large arrays of text to identify patterns in the use of words or phrases in the language. Based on the obtained results of the concordance, it is possible to understand the meaning of the word from the context and carry out an analysis of its usage. Let's analyze the concordance of the word form on 0 and adjective 0 at 0, found 694 documents. Of these 550 documents, however, the period of up to 2022, all others for 2022, and most of them have the meaning located closest to the front line, to the enemy. In the Dictionary of the Ukrainian language in 11 volumes, the ambiguous word 0 has the meaning 1. The number 0, which means no value, and when it is substituted for another number on the right, it means increasing in tenfold. The development of the meaning of a word includes the following indicators: frequency in the original corpus of text, the number of lexical meanings, the sequence of meaning in the normative dictionary. And this is significant. The most important values are first recorded in the dictionary article and then all the other in order of decreasing usage. The synchronous vector of a word makes it possible to obtain the general distributional and statistical characteristics of a word in a certain language field and to find trends in the development of its meaning. The mechanism of determining and meaning of a word consists precisely in assigning a word to a certain paradigmatic series to a conceptual field. This is evidenced by the fact that in many cases the lexeme is diagnostic, not connected to the analyzed word by a syntactic connection, but capable of signaling one of several possible paradigmatic series for this word. Obtaining a modern model of the Ukrainian language system involves not only the analysis of and description of the form and semantic of lexical units, their functional in text, but also the creation of reliable tools for monitoring the course of its dynamics. Internet and language corpora are the main source of information about a language in our days.